Your bank account is free. That's what they told you when you signed up. No monthly fee, no hidden charges, just a free account, a debit card, and a friendly handshake. Except the average American pays $329 a year in banking fees. And that's just the part you can see. Because the fees aren't even the main way your bank makes money from you. In 2023, the four largest banks in America combined for nearly $120 billion in profit. Record after record after record. Your money built that. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly how. Let's start with the most important number in banking, the interest rate spread. The Federal Reserve sets the benchmark interest rate. Right now it's around 5.25%. Banks can borrow money at or near that rate. It's essentially their wholesale cost of funds. What do they charge you when they lend it back? Mortgages at 7%, auto loans at 8%, credit cards at 21%. And what do they pay you for keeping your money with them? At most major banks, your savings account earns 0.01%. Not 1%, not 0.1%, 0.01%. That gap between what they pay you and what they charge you is their business model, and it is extraordinarily profitable. Here's what 0.01% looks like in real life. You put $10,000 in a Bank of America savings account. After one full year, you earn $1. $1 on $10,000 for an entire year. Meanwhile, the bank takes your $10,000, lends it out as part of a credit card balance at 21%, and earns $2,100 on it. They keep $2,099. You get $1. That's the deal. Now let's talk about credit cards, because this is where the spread gets almost unbelievable. The average credit card interest rate in America is now 21.47%, the highest ever recorded in history. Americans currently carry over $1 trillion in credit card balances. At 21% interest, that means Americans are paying roughly $210 billion per year in credit card interest alone. $210 billion per year, going straight to the banks. And here's the trap that makes it so effective: the minimum payment. If you carry a $5,000 balance at 21% and only make the minimum payment, you will be paying that debt off for 17 years. And you'll pay over $7,000 in interest. You borrow $5,000. You pay back $12,000. The bank earns more from your debt than you originally spent. The banks know this. They design it this way. The minimum payment exists to maximize the time you spend in debt and the interest you pay. And to keep you distracted from that fact, they give you rewards points, cashback, miles, a little bit back so you don't notice how much they're taking. Now let's talk about overdraft fees, because this might be the most brazen revenue model in American banking. You have $4 in your checking account. You buy a coffee for $5.50. Your bank covers the $1.50 shortfall and then charges you $35 for the service. A $35 fee on a $1.50 shortfall. That's the equivalent of a 1,000% annual interest rate. In 2022, American banks collected $7.7 billion in overdraft and NSF fees in a single year. And here's who's paying for it. The poorest 9% of bank account holders pay 84% of all overdraft fees. The people who can least afford it are paying the most. These customers aren't being careless. They're living paycheck to paycheck, balancing rent, groceries, and utilities to the dollar. Some banks have been caught deliberately reordering transactions, processing the largest purchase first so smaller ones trigger overdraft. More overdrafts, more fees. Banks have paid billions in class action settlements over this practice, then continued doing it. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau tried to cap overdraft fees at $8. The banking industry spent millions lobbying against it, because $35 is not a penalty. It's a product, and it's priced to generate maximum revenue from minimum balance customers. Now let's talk about what happens to your savings. Because even if you're not overdrafting, your savings account might be quietly robbing you. Right now, the national average savings rate at big banks is 0.01% to 0.06%. Inflation right now is running around 3% to 4%, which means every dollar you park in a traditional savings account is losing 3% to 4% in purchasing power every year. $10,000 in a Bank of America savings account earns $1. loses $300 to $400 in real purchasing power. Net result, you got poorer by $400. And here's the thing. High-yield savings accounts exist. Online banks and credit unions are offering 4.5% to 5% APY right now. $10,000 at 5% earns $500 a year. That's $499 more than the big bank version. The money is out there. The better rates are available. But big banks don't advertise them and make switching just inconvenient enough that most people don't bother. They're not stealing from you. They're just making it very comfortable to do nothing. Now let's talk about something most people never think about. What actually happens to your money when you deposit it? When you put $1,000 in your checking account, you probably picture it sitting there in a vault, waiting for you. It's not. The moment your deposit clears, the bank lends most of it out. They're required to keep only a fraction in reserve. That $1,000 deposit enables them to lend out roughly $900 to someone else. That $900 gets deposited into another bank, which lends out $810, which gets deposited somewhere else, which lends out $729. Through this process of fractional reserve banking, your single $1,000 deposit eventually supports roughly $9,000 to $10,000 in total loans. They earn interest on all of it. You earn 0.01% on your original $1,000. You are the raw material. The loans are the product. And the spread between what they pay you and what they charge borrowers is the profit. This is not illegal. This is not a conspiracy. This is just how banking works. But most people have no idea that this is what happens to their money. And most banks have no incentive to tell you. Now let's talk about the fee ecosystem. Because beyond interest rates, banks have built an entire secondary revenue stream out of fees you might not even notice. Monthly maintenance fee, $12 to $25 per month at most major banks if your balance drops below a certain threshold. ATM fee, $3 to $5 from your own bank for using an out-of-network machine, plus $3 to $5 from the other bank's ATM, up to $10 per withdrawal. Wire transfer fee, $25 to $35 per domestic transfer, $35 to $50 international. Foreign transaction fee, 3% on every purchase made in a foreign currency, every single swipe abroad. Paper statement fee, $2 to $5 per month if you don't go paperless. Return deposit fee, early account closure fee, stop payment fee, excessive transaction fee. Each one seems small. Together, they add up to hundreds of dollars a year. The average American pays $329 in banking fees per year. But heavy fee payers, often lower-income customers, pay far more.